Well, hello everyone. Happy November 27th, 2022. Welcome back to my channel. Before we start today's episode, please hit this red square button right there. That will make you subscribe so you can watch all future videos and catch up on the last 190 or so videos that I've already posted about photography. That's what this is all about. This is all about having fun about the art, the beautiful art of photography. All right, guys, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about a lens. This Battleship Gray Behemoth, very odd lens from Sigma. I have exactly one Sigma lens. This one. I dug this out of a box that I had in my closet behind some old Adidas sneakers. And I put it away for a good reason. Guys, this is the Sigma prime lens autofocus 400mm f5.6 lens. All steel, all Battleship gray steel, built-in lens hood, which does not cooperate anymore by staying open. So when I use this lens, I have to put a little bit of gaffer's tape around it to hold it in the usable position. Guys, this thing also has an adjustable built-in tripod mount. It does not have a built-in autofocus motor. Therefore, it relies on the pin motor in the camera. Like this is the Nikon D3. Okay, it has a pin in the camera that sticks out like a screwdriver, and then when you mount the lens, it fits into like a screw in the lens, and the camera rotates and moves the gears inside the lens, and that's how it focuses. If you don't have that type of built-in focusing motor in the camera, then you'll just have to manual focus. Let me tell you about the comedians that must work at Sigma, or must have worked at Sigma, when this lens was being designed. When I first got this lens, when it was new in 1985, I couldn't find the focus ring to save my life. You look at the front, no focus ring, no focus ring, nothing, and nothing. Guys, it doesn't even have an aperture ring. So I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Now what? Guys, the engineers at Sigma, when they put this in Japan, by the way, this stamped right on it, made in Japan. When this was being engineered, it wasn't until I got this lens and used it for a while that I discovered the focusing ring is hidden. This is the only lens I have ever seen in my life, 50 years of being a photographer, where they hide the focusing ring. You ready? Keep your eye right here. You lift up a panel, a ring, to expose the focus ring. Guys, the only reason I can see why they did this, okay, here's the focus ring right here underneath this panel. The steel collar is, I imagine, when you're walking around or once you set focus on a tripod, that you can close it so no dust or moisture or rain would get in the lens. Holy Toledo. Okay, this gigantic front element, if you want, you could buy 72 millimeter size filters for the front. Okay. Oh boy. Now, we have to really discuss this lens. First of all, I'm going to tell you that even though it's an f5.6 lens, okay, 400 millimeter prime, okay, made in Japan lens, don't even think about using this lens at f5.6. Here's why. Sharpness was not a criteria when Sigma made this lens in 1985. F8 starts the process in this lens of beginning to look like somewhat sharp images. So in reality, this should have been marked an f8 lens because 5.6 just isn't usable. Here's another thing. This lens is so heavy and so long, and without optical image stabilization. And if you have a camera like the Nikon D3, it does not have IBIS, in-body image stabilization. Okay? Guess what, fellas and ladies? If you're taking handheld photographs, in other words, you're not going to be using a monopod or tripod, listen to old Carmine from New York. You must use an ISO of 2000. Here's why. You need such a high shutter speed. Okay? You need such a high shutter speed with this camera that it really is useless under 2000 ISO. I would even say go to 3200 if you're using it on an FX, a full frame camera. Go to 3200 so you can use shutter speeds with f8, depending on the lighting, that you're going to use, like, 1/300 something of a second, 1/400th of a second, 1/500th of a second. That is critical to get photographs to be somewhat sharp. All right. Now, during this video, I will intermix photographs that I took with this setup, the Nikon D3 and the Sigma 400 prime lens. Okay. So let's talk a little bit more about it. How much does something like this cost? Guys, if you pay more than $100 for this lens, you wasted your money. Spend no more than $100 for this lens. Okay? I got this lens a little cheaper. It was like $90 because the seller was honest and he said the hood doesn't want to cooperate. That doesn't bother me. I have lots of gaffer's tape. Okay? So keep that in mind. Don't spend more than $100 for these. They come in many, many mounts. Sigma made this 400 millimeter prime in almost every kind of mount imaginable. Nikon mount, Sony mount, Pentax mount, on and on and on. It's very heavy. Let's see. Want to make sure I'm looking at my notes if you wonder what I'm doing. Okay, so I took out this lens. I shot some photographs. All right. And I think now is a good time to show you all the photographs all in a row. All right. So this has been the Sigma 400 millimeter prime Battleship gray. For some reason, Sigma, why did you do that? Why did you make this Battleship gray. It stands out like a sore thumb. Most camera bodies are black. Canon, yes, makes beautiful L lenses in off-white. Gorgeous. Nikon makes a few too. All right. So this would have been great in off-white or black, but you know what? It is what it is. Okay, so let's take a look at the photographs right now. Taken with this pretty inexpensive lens. Now, before we get into the photographs, who's this lens for? This lens is for folks that don't mind if it's not tack sharp. The reach, this is a legitimate 400mm super telephoto lens. It's absolutely, they did not skimp on the optics with this. It truly is a 400mm lens, okay? Is there some purple fringing? Yep. Is there some blue fringing? Yep. But when you put that all aside now, see now the color fringing that I just mentioned, right? Doesn't really matter if you're going to process these as black and white photographs, right? Your sharpness, can you increase it a little bit in post? A little bit. But you don't want to go crazy because then you're going to get all kinds of, grain. All right. So let's take a look at the photographs now that I took with this combo. The Nikon D3 and the Sigma 400mm prime f5.6, about $100. Okay, go to this corner, hit the red square, subscribe, thumbs up, comment below, and email me any photographic question at blackandwhitephoto@aol.com, and I will answer your photographic question within one day. And also, I haven't mentioned this in a while, go to my free website, CarmineTaverna.com. I have over 5,000 photographs that you can look at, and it lists the equipment that I used, and it'll give you ideas. It'll break you out of photo block. Photo block is a term I invented, like a writer's block when they can't think of what to type. Photo block is when you can't think of what to photograph. Go to my website, CarmineTaverna.com. You can't buy anything on that website, so fear not. It's not a shill tactic to get you to my site to buy something. Nope. It's just there to give you ideas to get you out of photo block. All right, guys, let's look at the photographs taken today with this combination. Let's go.